Hi crafters, this is Raquel from Paints and Glitter here with Paper Rose Studio. I'm coming along with this really darling paper collection just released from Paper Studio for this summer of 2025. I thought it'd be a lot of fun to play along with these papers. I'm going to share with you what's included and also let you know that if you're interested in these papers, what's really neat about Paper Rose is if there's a particular paper in a pack that you really like, you can get them individually in packs of 24. So I'm going to show you what's here. These happen to be the 6x6, the 12x12, and the embossed die cuts, all from the collection called Happy Moments. And what I'm going to start with is the 12x12, so you get to see how darling these are. These are also available in the 6x6, and these are also available in the 12x12, and I'll explain the difference. These have two each of 12 designs, and they're all printed on 200 GSM paper, so it makes it really nice because it's wonderful for die cutting or just cutting with your scissors, and you're going to get really beautiful results. But I'm going to open this first and show you what's inside. Okay, so starting here, this is the cover, but you can definitely cut this apart and use either side of this, because what's really neat about Paper Rose is that they give you a bunch of different sentiments in different colors when you get a full 12x12 collection. And that makes it really neat because if you want to coordinate your sentiments to your project, whether it be cards or memory books, then you have a bunch of different occasions for which you can use the papers. So if you need to take a pause and read through it, you can go ahead and do that. And the colors are really, really pretty, as you can see. The next paper here is the same as what you saw in the cover initially, but of course the bottom half is different because it doesn't have the title. And this is called Happy Moments A, and this is what I was referring to earlier. If you really like a particular collection, such as Happy Moments A, you'll be able to get a full 24 pack of it, and that goes for all of the papers you'll see in here. So up here you see a nice little sentiment that says hello, and there's live in the moment, take time to bloom, thanks, love. There's the ampersand with little flowers and a little area here onto which you could write some journaling. This one here says making memories, sweet, and then there's this floral border with little butterflies that's really cute. And if you flip that one over, you get these darling stripes. I like that there's the minty green and blue, also with the pink and red. And then on the bottom border, instead of wasting it, there's an entirely different pattern there that you can use. Here is a really gorgeous plaid. I really like this with all the different colors again. And here is pink, but there is some texture to it. It looks like canvas. And the bottom border again with a different design. This one has a top and bottom border with these florals, and again that little butterfly that you're going to see a lot throughout this collection. This is Happy Moments C, by the way, and the previous one was Happy Moments B. So you do have an alphabet order there. And here's a green on green plaid, super cute, with a pink border at the bottom. This one has a bunch of different little cut aparts. They all have different sentiments, and they're so darling. I really like how some of these, for instance, have these butterflies as well. And this one says it's all good. This one's a floral, and this one here says everything is better when we're together. More little butterflies here. Spread your wings and fly. You brighten my day. Here and now, it's a beautiful day. There's magic everywhere you go. Choose happy. And if you flip that one over, you get all these darling, delicate little white butterflies with the black bodies, and then a white border here. And this is Happy Moments D. Here are more butterflies. I'm loving this. And there is, however, a checked background with a very faint blue line, and this is Happy Moments E. So there are florals here also with just a delicate little flower, but the butterflies do have little rainbows on them and just different designs there that are really cute. And here is a red polka dot. It's white polka dot on a red background. However, there is some visual texture there, so it looks as if it's a little bit worn, which is really neat. And then there's a light blue border there. This one is the rainbows and butterflies. So here you have just a combination of the different colors here. And this is Happy Moments F. The other side is a yellow checked pattern. Super cute for like picnic photos maybe. And then there's this little red border there. And then it repeats itself. So of course, if you like this type of paper collection with nice bright colors, then what's really neat is that you can also get these smaller packs in the 6x6. So I'm going to open this one and we'll look at this one together as well. So here you get 16 double-sided pattern papers, 3 each of 12 designs. So that's what's a little bit different about the smaller ones. They're also printed on 200 GSM paper, and the scale is smaller to fit the size of the page. Plus you don't get the sentiments on the back of that. But here's this one with the florals, and this time around you have the pink and yellow butterflies, and then some smaller little butterflies along with the flowers. And there's a pink plaid, super, super pretty. Here is that stripe again, however this time around is much smaller. And on the back you have some yellow, and this looks as if it were just a watercolor card. Here are just florals, no butterflies in this case, and it's a really beautiful pattern there. I really like the florals here that have 3 little flowers that seem to be stacked together. That's super cute. And then of course on the back here is now a light blue background with a white polka dot. Here are the little butterflies that we saw in the larger collection. However, this time around they're enclosed in what look to be almost like little circles with a scallop border. And then on the background there's the yellow with white polka dot, super cute. And then a red plaid, again with a smaller scale. This one is lovely, of course, with all the little polka dots. I really like this. It would have been nice to have this in the 12x12. But on the back of that is a light blue. And as I've mentioned before, they do repeat themselves. So that way you have plenty to work with, whether you want to create some cards or journals or memory books. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you now the embossed die cuts, and then I'm going to let you know what I'm making. With the embossed die cuts you get 4 sheets. They are 6x8 in size. They're printed on 200 GSM card, and there are 4 designs. You get 1 sheet of each. And what's really neat about these, of course, is that you can pop them off of the background. I do like to use my scissors, however, just on the little portions there that are attached. They do come with a little sentiments, the little images, and just a lot of cute little details and shapes. For instance, the little tags or tickets that are really popular, and little flags that you can use or tabs that you can add to the side of a page. For instance, if you're making a journal, little areas onto which you can write. And some of them are pierced, so if you want to add some little yarn or thread through that, you can definitely do so. Really pretty. And of course they already have the embossing for you, so if you see the shine there, you don't need to add anything to them. They're just super cute on their own. For instance, here's this little tag with butterflies on there, and little hearts throughout, little speech bubble with a heart inside. This one appears to have washi on it, but it's of course part of the design. This one again says choose happy. This one here looks like a name tag with a hello. Life is beautiful. Hello sunshine, joyful. Here, this one's a little arch frame. And this one says all about me. So perfect for a little memory book, a little pocket here. I think that's super cute. And lastly, this one here has more little tags and also speech bubble, a little tab, and then this one down here says celebrate, love, and hello. So all of them different, which is really fun. They don't repeat themselves. And of course there are other items in this collection. If you're curious, I'll leave links down below for Paper Rose so that you can take a peek at what else is available from this collection, but I'm going to make a memory book that I have designed, and I look forward to sharing with you what that looks like, and also maybe I'll do a tutorial, so stay tuned, stay with me, and I'll show you exactly what I'm making today. Okay, so here is my finished project. I went ahead and designed this mini album, which I'm so very proud of, and the reason why is because I was inspired by the paper collection, and this is how I love to craft, is just take one element of any paper collection and see where my imagination takes me. In this case, I saw the beautiful butterflies and of course the pretty flowers, and so I thought to create a memory book in the shape of a butterfly, as you can tell here. And what I've done is that using other elements from Paper Rose, which were these oval dies here that you see with the beautiful scalloped edge, and the little floral dies, which I'll list of course everything below. Then I went ahead and decorated the covers, and I say covers because these are actually two books, and this is the base that holds the two books together. So this will stand up, as you see here, and you get to see that there are pages on both sides. And what's really neat about this is that they are held magnetically in the center. So all I have to do is this. I get to separate both books, and my little stand can stay to the side. These will hold together just like that. But I'm going to show you first this one. And as you see here, of course, the covers are the same. I did add this cute little ribbon that I happen to have in my stash with the little hearts. And of course I decorated all portions of this with the different papers, and I didn't film myself decorating the book because it would have been too long of a video and I could just describe it, which is that again I just repeated little elements throughout and also use these gorgeous die cuts to go ahead and create some little interactive features or just decorate the pages. So for instance here, these little leaf clusters, these are all Paper Rose dies. I just added little, of course, decorations or different little gems and that sort of thing. You can always create little tuck-ins with these types of things. So here I created a little belly band, and this will feed right through. And then I can tie this into a little knot at the bottom. This is just a little flag that came already just like that, so I left it alone. Here are two little frames. The next page will open flat like this in the center. So I left plenty of room in between the pages because I wanted to be able to decorate them to my heart's content, and that was the only reason why. But here you see those flowers again. I really like that die set. And over here, these little frames you can create with dies from Paper Rose. Here's a little flag that says it's a beautiful day. Then over here, what I did is that I did create the oval frame and also added a piece of the cut aparts cut with that same die, but I also added a little heart here on top with a little brad because you can actually remove this, and it has the little frame here that will cover a photo that you can place here, or maybe do some private journaling and then you can cover it back up with that little heart. I thought that was a lot of fun. Then lastly here, I have two little interactive pages, nothing too fancy, but this one here has a little magnet, as you can tell, and I hid the other one behind this, which is a white piece of card. Now, I did show in the beginning of the video this little arch aperture, so what I did is adhere it onto a white piece of cardstock that I had folded in half, and then I simply used the scissors to cut around the edge so that I could create this, and then added some little beads, as you see here, with some thread. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then over here I added some dimensional adhesive just to pop some of these elements up and give that a little more dimension. Over here, this was a little cut apart. I did add little gems. I added also some crystal glaze and little bits of glitter, as you can see there, so that it would have glitter on top of that image. I also added Nuvo drops on the edge so that it would have a second color of glitter on there. And then I tucked this behind it so that it would have this little frame. This is one of the little tabs and just a strip of paper. And I added another one on the back. So this one I just traced using the first one. So that's super easy. And using strips of paper, as you can tell, I did decorate the inner portions of the little butterfly and the center, and the back is also decorated. The second one, of course, starts off the same. Here the difference is that I did take one of the cut aparts, and what I did is I cut it away so it was all on one piece of card or paper, I should say. And I did take some glitter card from my stash as well as one of the other little pink strips, and just added them to underline the phrase. That's a really easy way to take a label or anything like that and just call attention to it. And of course the glitter card matches the color of the text, and that's really important, I think, so that it looks really cohesive. Then up here I did add little sequins. I meant to mention that as part of the decoration on these little books. I just thought it would add a little bit of shine, and of course I love texture. So this one opens two more little frames in the same shapes because I wanted them, of course, to match the shapes of the little butterfly. And this one opens like this. There's this little speech bubble that I decorated with another piece of ephemera that said hello, and another little heart that I cut away from that ribbon. And I love these little branches, or that's what I call them, but they're another die from Paper Rose. Here, this one says hello sunshine, that's popped up, and then this piece of ephemera is just tucked there. And that was just so cute, a little notebook page with the paper clip that says superstar. I thought that was just adorable, and the foam kind of holds it together there. Here with this little banner, you can add the photo behind it because I only added adhesive foam on the little area that would be outside of that aperture there. And more little gems throughout, of course, to make everything really cute. This little butterfly was part of one of the cut aparts, and I did alter it using, as you can see there, crystal glaze to make it look just like all of the other shiny ephemera. And then I also used a gel pen to give that a little bit of shine. Here this says everything is better when we're together. Another little element that I added on this page is that I created a shaker, and that was just by enveloping that with some vellum and then added a bunch of little sequins inside. The frame is also from Paper Rose. I added the sentiment here, what a wonderful world. And then behind this, I did add another little piece of ephemera from the collection. So that's what this looks like. I thought that was super cute. And then another little tag. So of course that could be for a photo and some journaling, or just to write the date in there. Then up here I did add a little heart that came with the ephemera with that same little yellow string that I used throughout. Here I tied 3 of the little banners together. I just thought this looks so cute. It's so adorable, and I wanted to use as much as possible all of the elements in this collection because they're just so adorable. So here I just added one of those little ovals that was left from one of the little frames that I cut out. Lastly, on this page, here's another one, and I did add little gems on here, another speech bubble with a heart. Here I created a little banner of my own by using some of the elements in another little strip of paper to have a piece of vellum to hold the sentiment here that says smile, because I love using vellum just to have things pop up but without adding color necessarily, and I just think that looks so adorable. Here I used one of the tickets as a tuck-in, and I did make this with this little piece of ephemera that creates that tab onto a piece of that gorgeous double-sided cardstock that comes in the 6x6 paper. And then I just cut around the edges there and added some little gems. So super easy to create your own little decorations. Here are 2 little tags with a piece of red ribbon, and then again one little heart there. And of course these can move so that you can place another little photo underneath here if you'd like to, and then add your journaling or dates on here. So some of the elements, even if they are, for instance, shiny like this, if you place a sticker on top or maybe back it up with chipboard, then you can still add things on top of these. So I always try to think that nothing is ever final, of course. Here's another piece of the ephemera, and what I did here was the same concept of backing it up with more papers to create a little area here for more photos or journaling. And of course I doubled that up and then added a little magnet there, and that holds it all together quite nicely. So this is the walkthrough of my finished project. I hope that you like it as much as I do. I really had so much fun. I was so inspired that I got out my silhouette cameo, and that's how I created my own file. It's a lot of fun to design. That's one of the things that I love to do, and I don't often do it, but when I do, it's because I'm truly inspired. So I do hope that this inspires you to create with these gorgeous papers and dies and ephemera from Paper Rose. It's so much fun. And as I always say, I thank you for watching, and I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed.